Well, after the ruling, the deporting, not so fast. A federal judge may have blocked the president's efforts to stop deportations of illegals, but Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio hasn't seen any big changes and doesn't anticipate any. Sheriff, it's good to have you back. So what does this mean? I mean, you would think that deportations could resume as they had, but they're not, right?
Well, this is important for us. You know, my attorney, Neil Larry Clayman, right after the president came out with his order, we went to court, and on December 22, the judge kicked it out, but our attorney is appealing it before the circuit court. Now you have Texas. That judge placed in a temporary injunction. So I would bet that this case, this situation would go to the Supreme Court.
In the meantime, what this judge decided is that you just can't, with the swipe of a pen, you know, do this kind of thing, delaying effectively 4 or 5 million illegals deportations. That does not mean that the deportations continue, though. This hadn't even been going on, I know from prior visits you had here, before this. So I doubt much is changing after this, right?
Yeah, you're right. We had 5,000 last year we turned over to ICE from the jails I run. 36% have come back. In fact, 2 weeks ago, an illegal alien shot and killed a convenience store clerk just trying to make some money. And by the way, he was turned over to ICE 2 years ago. So here he is roaming the streets. You got 36% charged with many serious crimes in the last year, roaming the streets. So I don't see much change right now. They've been doing it, but let's see how the courts come out on this situation.
What does it take to get you deported?
That's a good question, what it takes. That's a tough one to ask. You got to ask Homeland Security.
Well, we always know that those with a rap sheet, or those with a record, or those who have been involved in criminal activity, even down to those involved in homicides, you know, you're marked for being deported, but invariably you don't get deported, or you're delayed in being deported, and that delay can prove very costly, can it?
I just mentioned, I can go down a list on murders that have occurred. You know that recently. By illegal aliens. So when they keep coming back to the jails that I run, I keep saying the jails here in Maricopa County,
right.
How come the 20, 30 people, 30 times they keep coming back? They should be deported. If they are deported, we have a big problem at the border. If they keep hopping that fence, they keep coming back here.
Do you ever, and I know I've asked you this before in various ways, Sheriff, but that when I look at clippings, I always get ready, you know, have you on to look at stories on you and what's come up. And invariably, you get more nasty press in the mainstream media than do the illegals, technically the criminals you're nabbing. And I always think that there's more attention given to the guy who's trying to do his legal job, gathering up illegals who shouldn't be here, than there is to the fact that there are illegals here who are being rounded up.
Well, you know, I'm a target from the White House down. I'm elected, sure, just trying to do my job. You can't surrender. This is the greatest country in the world, Neil. We can always solve problems, and I hope Congress gets a hold on this illegal immigration problem and do something about it.
Well,
Let's
what would it have to
clarify
be? What would it have to be, sure? Because I hear from a lot of folks, we've got to get a bill to the president that has comprehensive reform and also tightens the border. But there are some conservatives in the party who say that even committing, $5 billion, $10 billion to border security isn't cutting it. Do you think there are some groups within just the conservative community who won't be happy with anything that doesn't call for something, anything short of a wall from one end of the Mexican-U.S. border to the other?
No, it's an internal problem, not just at the border, but let Congress decide whether to get more visas or work permits or whatever to get the problem resolved. Now, I'd like to see Congress bring the local law enforcement back into the fight. You know, they took that authority away from me, so we can help the feds arresting people that are in this country illegally if they violate the law.
But real quickly, what you're saying is nothing is going to change now, even with this judge's order, right? for the time being.
Well, it's a good order. It's a step forward. So let's see what the appellate courts say.
All right, Sheriff, thank you very much. Joe Arpaio. All right, well, he
Thank
shot
you.
innocent people and reportedly sympathized